Hey, it's Casey Orr and Sean Whitfield with iTruckTV.com. It's time for your NASCAR update, and we're going to get you up to speed. Which means this week we're talking about the Party in the Poconos 400 from Pocono, or as we've been calling it, Sean, the Jimmy Johnson and everybody else 400, because that's really what it was.
That's right. Jimmy Johnson led 128 laps of 160 laps in the race and completely showed domination throughout.
It really was. Pocono, we know it's a different racetrack, only 3 turns instead of 4. It's a privately held racetrack we go to twice in about 8 weeks. And this is the first time that the Generation 6 car was there, but every once in a while, it just seems like the 48 team, they come out, and Chad Knaus and Jimmy Johnson flex their muscles and just remind everyone. The same way maybe like a LeBron James will take over a basketball game.
You like to compare everything to basketball or football, don't you?
Well, I try to give perspective. And that is what Jimmy, like, it was the race for second place because that's how good that 48 team was.
Well, you know, they're coming off that race weekend at Dover where they got beat on that last restart, and they came to Pocono to show that these guys are on top of their game, and they are certainly showing that so far. They have won 3 races so far this year, and Jimmy Johnson had his 63rd victory in 413 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series races. This is his 3rd victory and 9th top 10 finish in 2013.
And Sean, one more thing before we get on to the results, because there were some other big names that did have a good day, but what's scary for the rest of the field is Jimmy Johnson's point lead increased. He gets another win. And like I said, this is a racetrack we're going to be at in just another 6 to 8 weeks. If you look at the schedule, if you're good this time, you're probably going to be good next time. We could very easily be talking about Jimmy's 4th or 5th win by the time we get back to Pocono.
Let's get into the results of the Party in the Poconos 400. Of course, Jimmy Johnson was your leader. He was also on the Coors Light pole. In second, we had Greg Biffle. 3rd, Dale Earnhardt Jr. 4th, Tony Stewart. 5th, Ryan Newman. 6th, Kyle Busch. 7th, Kurt Busch. 8th, Denny Hamlin. 9th is Kevin Harvick. And 10th, Joey Logano.
You know, hats off to Stewart Haas Racing, Sean. Top 5s for both those guys. And what a 2-week turnaround from Tony Stewart. A win last week and then a top 5 finish this week. Maybe there's a little something to that momentum bug. Definitely helped Tony out in the standings.
You know, and Tony Stewart was one of those drivers that we had kind of counted out, but after that win at Dover, it certainly turned things around, and we're going to get into that right now with the NASCAR drivers' points standings after Pocono. Jimmy Johnson has taken a little bit larger cushion in the lead, 51 points ahead of second-place Carl Edwards. 3rd is Clint Bowyer. 4th, Dale Earnhardt Jr. 5th, Kevin Harvick. 6th is Matt Kenseth. 7th, Kyle Busch. 8th, Casey Kane. 9th, Brad Keselowski, and 10th, Greg Biffle.
In the 11th spot, Jeff Gordon. 12th, Paul Menard. But if the chase were to start this week, Sean, 13th place Tony Stewart would actually be the second wild card winner since he does have that victory. You talk about a 2-week turnaround. 2 weeks ago, 20th in the standings. This week, 13th with a win. He would actually make it into the wild card. So there you have it. Everything that happened at Pocono, and now, Sean, our sights turn toward Michigan. Big sweeping racetrack, a lot like California. And if you'll remember, the Gen 6 really made racing at California good.
Yes, it did. And, of course, we're going to see some exciting racing coming up this weekend. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was the winner of this race last year. Could we see Jr. back in victory lane?
Boy, wouldn't that be a fun story to get to talk about a victory from Junior. But regardless who wins, Sean, we'll be right here to talk about it on iTruckTV.com.
That's right. You can catch us here each and every week. Also, you can catch us on the radio on Valvoline Racing Radio on Rock 105 in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Or if you're outside the Chattanooga area, you can find us on iHeartRadio. That's this week's Up to Speed.
Right here on the NASCAR Update at iTruckTV, where Sean and I keep you up to speed.